October 7, 2023, will forever be marked as a dark day in the annals of Israeli and Palestinian history. As dawn broke on that Saturday, few could have anticipated the profound scale of devastation and human tragedy that would unfold in just a short span of time. A preliminary assessment provided by senior Israeli defense personnel painted a grim picture. Approximately 700 Israelis had been killed, with many others injured or left traumatized. On the 7th of October, in a devastating turn of events, Palestinian militants stormed neighboring towns of Israel, resulting in the tragic loss of hundreds of civilian lives. Such incidents underscore the profound complexities and deep-seated tensions in the region. If you appreciate our effort to shed light on these intricate historical events, please give this video a thumbs up, share it, and subscribe for more in-depth analyses. Today, we'll delve into the historical narratives of both the Israelis and Palestinians, and how these past events shaped today's reality. In 1946, after World War II and the Holocaust, Jewish immigration to Palestine increased. It's estimated that around 70,000 to 100,000 Holocaust survivors made their way to Palestine, despite British restrictions on Jewish immigration. The UN proposed partitioning Palestine into separate Jewish and Arab states in 1947. Jewish leaders accepted, but Arab leaders rejected the plan. In 1948, a monumental event in the history of the Middle East took place when David Ben-Gurion, Israel's first prime minister and frequently hailed as the father of modern Israel, proclaimed the establishment of the State of Israel on May 14. This declaration marked the culmination of decades of Zionist aspirations and efforts. The following day, neighboring Arab countries invaded Israel, starting the 1948 Arab-Israeli War. The fighting between Israel and the surrounding Arab states, Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, and Syria, that began in 1948. Israel Defense Forces or IDF, had an estimated 30,000 troops. While, the Arab armies, from Egypt, Transjordan, Syria, Iraq, and Lebanon, had initial estimates around 60,000 to 75,000 soldiers. Israel facing a possible defeat, the United Nations intervened with a 4-week ceasefire, which worked in favor of Israel. Ignoring the UN arms embargo, Israel imported heavy armaments from Czechoslovakia and used that time to reorganize. This brings us to a turning point in the war. As soon as the ceasefire was over, Israel launched a counteroffensive, occupying 2 strategic Arab towns which were allocated to Arab Palestine by the UN. 70,000 Palestinians who lived there were forced to flee their home. Israel closed in and continued occupying. As a result of the war and subsequent armistice agreements, Israel expanded its territory beyond the borders outlined in the 1947 UN partition plan. The West Bank and East Jerusalem came under Jordanian control. The Gaza Strip came under Egyptian administration. During the conflict, a significant number of Palestinians left or were expelled from their homes, leading to a substantial refugee crisis. The reasons for this exodus are a matter of significant debate, with narratives varying between voluntary flight, expulsions by Israeli forces, and fear due to the fog of war. By the end of the hostilities, several 100,000 Palestinian Arabs had become refugees. Continued tensions and the Six-Day War. Skirmishes and tensions persisted through the 1950s and early 1960s. In 1967, a series of escalating tensions and perceived threats from neighboring Arab countries culminated in what is known as the Six-Day War. Initiated by a preemptive Israeli strike on Egypt's air force, the conflict saw Israel confronted by Egypt, Jordan, and Syria. Within 6 days, Israel not only neutralized the threat but also achieved a swift and decisive victory. As a result, Israel captured significant territories: the West Bank from Jordan, the Gaza Strip and Sinai Peninsula from Egypt, and the Golan Heights from Syria. The war significantly altered the geopolitical landscape of the Middle East, and its repercussions can still be felt today. The territories seized in the war became focal points for future negotiations, settlements, and conflicts in the Israeli-Palestinian and broader Arab-Israeli issues. The 1967 war also solidified Israel's military reputation and changed the dynamics of its relationships with Arab neighbors. In 1973, Egypt and Syria launched a surprise attack on Israel during Yom Kippur, catching the nation off guard. Despite initial Arab successes, Egypt crossing the Suez Canal and Syria advancing in the Golan Heights, Israel, with U.S. support, mounted a counteroffensive, pushing Syrian forces back and surrounding Egypt's Third Army. While ending in a ceasefire, the war's aftermath emphasized the importance of diplomacy, paving the way for future peace negotiations like the Camp David Accords. In 1982, Israel launched an invasion of Lebanon, primarily targeting the Palestinian Liberation Organization, PLO, which had established a stronghold there. This military intervention, which reached as far as Beirut, was aimed at expelling the PLO from Lebanon and establishing a more friendly government in Beirut. However, the invasion and subsequent occupation led to complex engagements, including conflicts with local Lebanese militias, and drew international attention, especially after the Sabra and Shatila massacre, culminating in Israel's eventual withdrawal in 2000. In 2005, Israel carried out a unilateral disengagement from the Gaza Strip, evacuating all Israeli settlements and withdrawing its military forces from the territory. While the move was aimed at enhancing security and reducing friction between Israelis and Palestinians, it led to the rise of Hamas, which eventually took control of Gaza in 2007 after a conflict with Fatah. This disengagement set the stage for a new dynamic in Israeli-Palestinian relations, with the Gaza Strip becoming a focal point of subsequent tensions and confrontations. This disengagement set the stage for a new dynamic in Israeli-Palestinian relations, with the Gaza Strip becoming a focal point of subsequent tensions and confrontations. This period saw multiple conflicts between Israel and Hamas, the ruling party in Gaza, from 2008 through 2014. A significant shift in the region's geopolitics occurred in 2017 when the U.S. recognized Jerusalem as Israel's capital, and subsequently, in 2018, moved its embassy there. This decision drew widespread international reactions, with many countries expressing concerns about its implications for future peace negotiations and the potential for heightened tensions in the region. In 2020, the Abraham Accords were signed, heralding a new era of normalized relations between Israel and several Arab nations, notably the UAE and Bahrain. This breakthrough agreement, facilitated with U.S. mediation, represented a significant shift in Middle Eastern geopolitics, highlighting a growing regional alignment concerning mutual interests and concerns, and paving the way for increased economic, cultural, and diplomatic ties. In May 2021, another significant conflict erupted between Israel and Hamas in Gaza, resulting in an 11-day war with casualties on both sides before a ceasefire was brokered. On Saturday, October 7, 2023, attacks from the Palestinian group Hamas launched from the Gaza Strip against the south of Israel started a new conflict in the region. Israel officially declared that it is at war the next day. As of October 11, the Israeli military said more than 1,200 people, including 155 soldiers, have died in Israel since Saturday's incursion. In Gaza, the health ministry says more than 1,050 have been killed and over 5,100 injured. The United Nations Palestinian Refugee Agency says 250,000 people have been displaced in Gaza. Thank you for tuning into our exploration of the complex and tumultuous history between Israel and Palestine. If you appreciate our effort to bring clarity to such intricate historical events, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with others, it helps the channel grow.